Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm meadsyreplays. Welcome back to the channel, continuing our top 5, looking at statistics on Blitz analysis. If you are interested in stats for World of Tanks Blitz, head over to Blitz analysis. It's got pretty much everything you need to know: the best performing tanks, the worst performing tanks, the best damage tanks, anything you can really think of. It is there. So today we are gonna do we're gonna look at this video, which we haven't actually I don't think we've covered. So basically, you want to be playing these tanks if you want to be hitting the enemy, because these are the highest hit rate tanks. Now, the best thing about this, just fast forward it. The best thing about these top 5 is 4 of them are very similar, and you've just got the odd one in the middle. So the highest hit rate tanks in the game currently, and of course number 5, we have this tank right here, and that is the Borask, the Bat-Chatillon Borask. Currently at 86.2% hit rate. So a lot of people are using this tank and they are hitting everything clearly. So a lot of, I'm just going to say it now actually, so 4 of these tanks in this list are actually auto loaders. Yeah, it did surprise me, to be fair. So that just, for me, just goes to show that people are paying more attention playing auto loaders, because they don't want to hit, they don't want to miss, especially a tank like this, really, the Borask. It's got 2 shells, and you want to really make the most of them 2 shells. It's a really good tank, and it's a tank that I actually hated at first, and then someone was like, you just need to play it properly. So we actually streamed someone on NA, and I was like, okay, yeah, and we streamed this tank, really, because he just wanted to know why I didn't like the tank, because it was an amazing tank. And yeah, so after the stream I come out and I'm like, okay, I was wrong. This tank is absolutely amazing. It's so small as well, so you can get in all the little tight squeezes, you know, all the little rocks you can hide behind, and it really does help, to be fair. It really does help. The only thing is the 2 shells. Now, the 2 shells, don't get me wrong, this is just me. I would like it to have 3 shells, but again, that's just me. But again, if it added the 3rd shell, then the alpha wouldn't be as nice as it is. So the alpha's nice, the speed's nice. Of course, it does have no armor whatsoever. So yeah, do be careful of that. But I'm very surprised with the Borask. Again, as I've said, the Borask is, when you play it correctly, it really is a fantastic tank. You just need to give it a chance. Play it correctly, and you will. It is amazing. It really is amazing. Now, all 5 of these games, I actually had really good games. Unfortunately, I couldn't quite get there with the Borask. I was a 1 shot away, but you know, it is what it is. So moving on to tank number 4. So tank number 4 is just a random tank in the middle, and it's the 50 TP prototype. You know, a bit random tank. It is a random tank to be hitting everything, almost everything anyway. So 86.6% hit rate in this tank over the last update. And you know, am I surprised? Not really. Any tank can hit. People have just got to focus more. And you know, these tanks, the hit rate is very important, because if you miss your shots, then you're dropping DPM, you're dropping damage, you're allowing the hit points to carry on the enemy team. So you want to be taking that extra few seconds to be aiming your shots, because again, hit rate is actually one of the most important stats that no one really ever talks about. Yes, we are going to farm this K2 here to up our hit rate just a little bit more, but yeah, hit rate is very important, because if you don't hit, you don't win. If you don't hit the enemy, you're not going to win the game. You're not going to have any damage. So yeah, hit rate is very important. So the 50 TP in there at 4th place, just a random heavy tank, normal tank, at 4th place when it comes to hit rates. Moving on to tank number 3. Next up, we have another auto loader, or in fact an auto reloader, and this is the Kranvagn. Now again, with auto reloaders, I absolutely love auto reloaders. I prefer them than auto loaders, because auto loaders, you can really only play it as an auto loader. Yeah, you can fire one shell if you've got no shots. You can reload, but you have to then reload your whole magazine. Whereas with the auto reloaders, you can play it how you want to play it. You can play it as a single shotgun, you can play it as an auto reloader, or you can just play it as an auto loader. So yeah, the Kranvagn 86.7% hit rate for the last update. And again, as I've said earlier, that just shows me with these auto loaders, it does show me that people are focusing more, people are paying attention just a little bit more to make sure they hit every single shot, make every single shot count, and that's exactly what people are doing. Kranvagn is a great tank as well, definitely worth the grind. Moving on to tank number 2. Tank number 2 is one of my, I wouldn't say my favourites, but it's one of my tanks that I absolutely love. I really do love this tank, and of course it is the Forest Witch. Now this is auto loader with the reserve shell. So what that means is you've got a 4-shot auto loader, but really you don't want to be shooting that last shell, because if you shoot that last shell, you do have a long reload. So you only really shoot that last shell if you absolutely have to. I think it's a fantastic tank. Like, the more I play this tank, the more I actually love it. Now the only thing with the tank is it does look silly, in my opinion. Of course, I don't think it looks the best, but yeah, it does honestly play. The armor, I think, is absolutely fantastic. The gun, I think, is quite nice as well, and just overall it is a really nice tank. I'm not gonna lie, it's just a tank, one of my guilty pleasures, to be fair. So yeah, if you do play the tank, do try and not shoot that last shell unless you absolutely have to, because you have to remember that last shell, you do have a massive reload, so do be careful. And this is what sucks, I do now have to shoot that last shell to kill that panther. So the Forest Witch, 87.1% hit rate over the last update with 4 shells. I think that's still pretty decent. That's still pretty high. Unfortunately, this game, well, not unfortunately, but I almost mess it up to this AMX 1357. Very annoying tank, these AMXs. Very annoying tanks. Obviously they're quick. Luckily for me, he does start to make a mistake, but this is where I use a little bit of my my brain in a minute. Not now, because I'm going to shoot my last shell. Well, but then my ammo rack's damaged, so I'm like, oh, God's sake. So am I going to shoot my last shell, or do I just wait? And I'm thinking, no, do you know what? I need to wait, because this guy, he can have me. My ammo rack's damaged. He's absolutely tearing me apart. So I'm like, okay, I can get this guy in 2 shots. I can definitely kill him in 2 shots. I'm on 154 hit points, and I managed to get a nice roll into him. I got very lucky there. I thought it looked easy at the start, and then yeah, it went downhill, but luckily I went over the line. Forest Witch, absolutely love the tank, and I am surprised at this being number 2. Moving on to the highest hit rate tank in the game, and it is one of the newer tanks, the Rhinoceronte. Another brilliant tank, it really is. I'd actually added this in my top 5 tanks in Blitz right now, because it's just fantastic. With the double shot, not the double shot, but the auto reloader, you've got 2 shells, 400 plus damage for each shell, and the reload is just really good. Even if you did want to shoot both shells, you know, you don't have to just shoot one shell, then wait for the reload, then shoot another shell. If you wanted to shoot both shells, then shoot both shells, because the reload isn't that bad. So yeah, you don't have to worry about a long reload. Now this is the highest hit rate tank in the game currently at 88.3% hit rate. That is very high for a tank, especially for an auto loader as well. And it's a brilliant tank. I'm not surprised. People are doing fantastic in the tank. It's performing really well, and the stats show that, and especially the hit rate. People, of course, if people are hitting more shots, they're generally going to do more damage, and generally they're probably going to win more. So yeah, the highest hit rate tank in the game at the moment. It goes to the Rhinoceronte. Let me know in the comments below, are you surprised at any of these tanks in this list? Let me know in the comments. But for now, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I'm meadsy69, and I'll catch you all soon. Bye-bye.